Alright, welcome back everybody to YouTube channel BTCTV, and we continue to do videos with famous people in blockchain industry. Today I'm happy to present to you another greatest person in blockchain industry, with the name is Yonathan. Nice to meet you.
Hello Alex, nice to see you.
Can you make a little bit introduction about yourself, that our viewers, our subscribers will know about you, about your background, and then we will start with another questions.
Well, first of all, I think we can say Malta is really crowded today.
Absolutely.
It's coming from all over the world, and that's very hopeful for the future of blockchain and blockchain industry. So myself, I come from another industry, which is finance.
Okay.
So I worked 15 years in finance. I was the former vice president of JP Morgan Swiss.
Wow.
Then I worked for Bank of China.
Wow.
And even Julius Baer. So I did American, Chinese and Swiss banks. I was doing wealth management and on all asset classes. So investment is really how you're going to foresee the future and how you're going to factor the different aspects that will shape the futures and impact society and people. So you can find what will be the best opportunity to grow in terms of investment. Now in terms of blockchain is about something which is absolutely disrupting many fields of society. So like internet in the past, many people were skeptical at the beginning. We were having a lot of except for maybe the people of our generation, we were kind of the geek of the past, but it was very, very conservative. And then we can see now that most of the giants are actually the Google, the Facebook, the Amazons, and they represent the manpower in terms of capitalization, in terms of innovations of the current worldwide industry. So blockchain is exactly now at the same point in time where everything is possible. Myself, I quit finance and I built a group which is called Horyou. Okay. It starts with an H for humanity. Oh, wow. Humanity Horyou. Why? Because I think we can build social media and social networks to bring meaningful and purpose in people's interactions. Okay. But at the same time, I wanted to find a way to solve one of current challenges we have in society, which is social inequalities. When we look at the world, now we have around 90% of the world population that know what they don't have. They have access to internet to a vast majority of extent, but still they don't belong and they don't own the chances to be participant and actively participant in building the next steps to come. Why? Because of many challenges. Educations, access to water, access to health, challenges in terms of geopolitics, and many other things that makes people, they have to strive for survival and not be able to project themselves into taking the right channels of opportunity in the most active technologies. So we have to bring every citizen of the planet a chance of hope. Okay. And that's what blockchain can enable as well.
I see you are very clearly that you are so inspired by blockchain, but do you remember when you first time heard about blockchain, about maybe Bitcoin, when it was? Because yesterday we celebrated 10th anniversary of white paper of Bitcoin. So and what was your first reaction?
So very simple. When I heard Bitcoin, it was trading on Bloomberg. I saw the element and I saw the chart. I think it was less than $150. Okay. And then I say, wow, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. And then I say, okay, let's try to buy that. But it took too much time, because at that time it was complicated for people from the finance industry, from the investment industry. We did investment 20, 50, 100 investment a day. It doesn't take more than 1 minute. Yeah. So for me, the first experience was I watch it, and then 1 or 2 years later I watch it 300, 400, and I say, wow, I missed that. And then same, I wanted to go in, but it took me too much time. It was not easy. Now the world has changed. You open an account so fast. You have the choice, between many, different players, and you can access to cryptocurrency, to Bitcoin and others so fast. So I think, from that past, over the last, 5 to 7 years, 8 years, because the first one was really like the most geek. You know, the early adopters were really like passionate. They were like doing now the mantra of Bitcoin. But I think for the people like me, we were very curious about it, and at the same time, we were missing some pieces of the puzzle, because Bitcoin was alone. It was a standalone.
Yes.
Now we can see the ecosystem. We can see the different applications. We can see and understand that this can bring efficiency and as well transparency. And that's what people sometimes to forget. Blockchain is an agent of transparency. And the world is suffering now because of lack of transparency. When you have transparency with people, you can apply solutions in a very inclusive and participative way. It can solve so many things. And you cannot be transparent and say to the majority of the world population, no guys, it's not for you. You have to be coherent. So transparency gives responsibility for making things that are making sense, but not for just yourself and your small community, but for everyone. And that's universality.
Agree with you. Now let's talk about yourself, because you are from one side, you are like a very big player, was a big player in the banking industry, in financial industry. You spend a lot of time with that, but you are still like a human, you are a person. Like, so can you share maybe what is your daily routine is looking like? What you are doing during the day?
So first of all, I'm very grateful, because I'm doing now for the last 6 years with my group something that I believe.
Okay.
It's meeting people and trying to raise awareness on all the good initiatives in the world that are making sense, supportive of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So people that are fighting for good, people that are creating, innovating to make an impact for the world. So traveling the world, meeting those people, connecting them to our social network, and now with our cryptocurrency, Horyou token, for supporting social inclusion and social good, I think, like first of all, I'm grateful, because every day you wake up very early, but you are into something where you serve.
You have like purpose of your life, I think, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's like you, and it gives you a power and inspiration, because you do what you love to do, plus you see results, and you can connect with great people around you.
Yes, and this gives you the reason of why traveling. You know, first of all, I think most of the challenges we have result from lack of communication, lack of open-mindedness, and lack of understanding. To have that, you need to travel and meet people. But when you meet them with a curiosity, with empathy, with the willingness to build bridges between peoples and cultures, you learn so much. And then your passport, get full of stamp. And that's amazing. Because it's not about tourism. It's about being with the other yourself of the other, cultures and places and people. So humanity, we are one humanity, but we are the myriads of the shape of the diversity that constitutes that humanity. To understand that, you have to be open-minded and open to travel and open to learn from each other.
As I mentioned yesterday, we celebrated 10th anniversary of Bitcoin white paper, and 10 years passed by, you see completely new industry came out, right? Blockchain industry, cryptocurrency industry. In your opinion, what do you see will be during the next 10 years? What will be the next 10 years?
First of all, we had, like over the last 1 year, a big phenomenon that was, from lack of interest, we have now Bitcoin everywhere, in CNBC, in Bloomberg, and etc. So what you have, like a phenomenon which is, still lacking of understanding for the mainstream adoption, but still the name Bitcoin is now, you know, like one of the most innovative, creative brands in the world.
Like iPhone was like
It's amazing. So that's the first element. So people that have dubbed about Bitcoin and blockchain to survive, they will learn that innovation cannot be stopped, because when it's innovation, it's spreading. Like today, coming from all over the world, the most innovative minds are putting their energy and passion into it. So I have no doubt that blockchain industry will be, you know, like taking a much wider and significant role, as well as allocation in people's budget, people's investment, and as well the value we can create for mankind. That's one aspect. The second aspect is how can this move from, let's say, a small cycle of geek and innovators and early adopters to everyone in the street. And that I think is the biggest challenge we have now. That challenge requires some concrete projects that are going, you know, to be very simple to understand, but making very simple and understandable impact in people's daily lives. That's what I'm supporting with Horyou token. My cryptocurrency is very simple. On every transaction, it makes the proof of impact, which is 0.01 to 0.1%, goes to the cause that you want to support, with the traceability of the blockchain and connected to a social network for social good. So everyone on the planet has a cause. They make transactions. They are ambassadors for crypto. So if they believe in something, they will be able to speak with restaurants, hotels, gallerists, artists, and say, why don't you accept this? Because it will make an impact. So this is one example, but there are many other examples, like with energy. You will have, you know, like blockchain to support efficiency in energy. You will have blockchain to support more, you know, like harmonious access to water. You will have blockchain to make sure there is less waste in several aspects of government administrations. So the aspect of blockchain is going, you know, to reveal itself in the aspect which is not speculation, but which is concrete usage. And then there is something which is very key and people forget about that. The value of tokens, crypto, result from the usability of the crypto or the tokens in real life or real transactions. So now we are still suffering from too much, you know, like speculation in the value of those, you know, like instruments on vehicles. But the more we will see that this is real, the more the value will not be speculative, so the volatility will decrease, and we will start to have, you know, main players like institutions starting to consider it as an asset class, and from that aspect we will see that industry thriving.
Okay, thanks. You left pretty good position, right, in bank industry. You started your own company. What is the main goal of your company, right? What is like what you want to achieve with your company?
What I want to support and to serve is the fact that every human being should have dreams, hope, and feel is part of the potential change.
Okay.
To do that, you have to give people the access of, I would say, normalized revenue and stream of cash flows that will enable them to become themselves entrepreneurs. People have to move from being alienated within a consumer society system where they are unfortunately lacking the opportunities to think who they really are. We need to help them and to support them to become who they can be and who their aspirations can bring them.
How your company can do this? How can okay, I see the goal, but in actions, how your company is helping them to do this?
The social network we built is based on inspiration.
Okay.
It's based on sharing what inspires you for yourself and for others. So the first aspect is when you use and go on horyou.com, you will learn all the good things that is happening in the world. The first thing is we are in a world that is very noisy now. The informations are so vast. You know that being in the media industry, It's so noisy. How to learn what is good? Now it's about always, the bad news, what is, like one against each other, etc. But at the same time, you have amazing things that happen. We need to put them forward. That's the first thing. You start your day, 2 minutes you spend, and you're going to see that many things are happening in the world that are meaningful and positive. So you will want yourself as well to contribute to that. That's the first aspect. Knowing that you are not alone, knowing that there are citizens all over the world that want to build a more sustainable and harmonious world. That's one. The second element is how can we support that to really happen in reality? Moving from idea, hope, dream to reality. This requires funding. As you know, people are not lacking ideas. But the problem is the cash flows and the funding is not channeling to the people that have the willingness to support cause at local level. It's very easy to raise $100 billion when you are a very, big company or whatever, when you have access to the markets, where your name is on all the front page of the magazines. But when you are a social entrepreneur in the middle of Africa or Latin America or Asia, it's very complicated. People are making most of their time to look for money instead of dedicating their energy to achieve the project they have, which concretely can solve challenges. So we have to find ways to simplify investment to make sure that people get funding based on what they have as an idea and not who they are on the business card or their relationship or their access to this or this decision makers. We need to mutualize the aspect of funding for social good. And that's what I developed with my cryptocurrency. I cannot fund myself. I invest in projects, but I cannot fund myself hundreds of thousands of projects. But with a cryptocurrency whose every transaction generates a force for impact which will be distributed back to the people that are plebiscited within a social network for social good, then those people from all over the world can share their ideas, build partnership one to the other, synergize, but at the same time get funding. And that's what we need. We need funding for good and new, visions, models that are more like giving back, less, greedy and more participation oriented. And then with all of that, with examples and case we will be able to build over the next years, we can start to change the paradigm of a system which is alienatory and building value over people to a system which is sharing and building value with and for the people.
Okay, let's make one example. Let's say I'm a person, let's say I'm living in Africa, right? And I want to start some maybe business, correct, to support my family. Then how to join your network? I mean, how to participate? What next stage will be?
You go on Horyou.com.
Okay.
As long as you have an internet connections, you can go, it's free. Then you will share what you do for your communities. What's your dream? What's your passion? What you want to achieve?
And what your community will either support or not?
So basically the community will, so not lights on the content that you post.
Okay.
So the more likes you get, the more visible you get on the network, and the more tokens or tokens you would receive to help you fund yourself. Okay?
Now I got it.
And then if you develop services, products, soft commodities that are as well respectful with sustainability principles, then you will benefit from a marketplace we are currently developing, and we will be able as well to sell and propose your services on that with the community, etc.
Okay, now you see, now I got your picture. Pretty interesting idea, pretty interesting one. And at this stage you are still developing, as I understand your platform.
So the social network exists now. We have 300,000 users in more than 180 countries, 8 languages, including Japanese and Chinese. Huge momentum in Japan. Okay. They are really like very advanced from a consciousness aspect and balance and energy. So they really want, to bring something meaningful in their life. So they really are very, very enthusiastic about the concept, and they join massively the cryptocurrency or token.
I simply, you see, still try to understand your idea, and it's pretty nice one, because it's like at one side it's like kind of Facebook, at another side is like Kickstarter crowdfunding, and you are combining. So me personally never seen this before, so nice idea. My congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and before we finish, it is still there are people we are watching this video would like to ask questions about maybe about investments, right? About is it still okay to invest in ICO projects, in crypto projects, or maybe in security tokens, from your point of view?
So my point of view is always you have to look at it from a portfolio standpoint. You have some assets. If you have 100, let's say, the question is why not, like looking for the future. Looking for the future means you can take a risk and you measure the risk that you want to take. So let's say if you are conservative, you can risk, like 2 to 5% of your wealth and invest in projects that you will believe. You can make a mix with existing listed, like cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin and others that are the major ones, and take, like to a smaller extent, some project that you will feel connected to. If you have, like a more, let's say, a higher willingness of involvement in growth and in future technologies, then of course your allocation should be bigger, and then you can start as well to dig more in depth for ICO projects, for projects that are maybe private equity projects, projects that are not launched yet. Why? Because of the success is to join a project as early as possible. That's where your upside will be the biggest in terms of investment, but at the same time, that's where the passion and the story will be the biggest for your life.
Also, before we finish, I would like to ask some like maybe private questions, like maybe do you like watch movies, or maybe you reading books? For example, what is the best book you read in your life?
Well, I'm reading now a book at the moment, which is a very interesting book on Jerusalem, the story of Jerusalem through the ages. And as you know, Jerusalem is a very special city in the world. It is, like the point of convergence of all the monotheists, like cultures and people. And what I learned from that, I'm passionate by history. So what I see is, it's not, the now moment is not just now. Okay. It is now, but as well with all the now moment that precede us, everywhere we have been, if we are speaking now, at the moment, it's because some people were fighting for freedom, for values, for universality, for making the world more harmonious. And most of the time they sacrifice their life for that. So history is an amazing way for you to learn that you are not alone just in this time, but you are the continuity of people that were before, and you will be yourself a continuity and a prolongement for the ones that will succeed you. So what I mean about that, it's, for me, what is important is to serve in life. Help. Don't wait. If you have a passion, go for it. Because this is our life. And we have to make it precious.
There is no another choice. Here, one choice. Yeah, thanks. But you like this book?
Well, I like history, so it's written with a lot of research and elements. So now I'm in the whole time, which is antiquity, and I love antiquity because that's where I learned so many things. Okay. And that's great.
How about maybe we will make a small challenge with our subscribers, that they will ask interesting question about what you are doing to you, and you will select one winner. Yes. And you will present him this book about Jerusalem with your signature. How it sounds like?
I'm happy to have a courtesy exchange like we have with any person on the planet.
Okay, excellent.
So like the best links are the links, we build with the eyes, and where we can, like
shake hands.
feel and shake hands, like just now.
Yes, thanks. So don't forget to subscribe to YouTube channel BTCTV and start asking interesting questions. And in a couple days, weeks, maybe when you have a free time, you will select a winner who will get a special book about Jerusalem with your signature.
All the best.
Yes. Thank you.
All the best.
And
All the best.